What's the attraction with sidecars? How come everybody stops and wants to talk to you? But it's true, there is a massive attraction with them. People are, well, they're not obsessed by them, but they make them smile. When you're going down the road, people just smile and wave at you all the time. And I think people appreciate it when they're put together well. The fact that the bike and the outfit or the sidecar suit each other, or they're linked, makes them one vehicle, not a motorcycle with a chair. It's an outfit. So this is the Indian Roadmaster 2018 model, coupled to a custom made steel bodied dusting style sidecar. I put this together a few years ago now. The chassis was a DJP chassis, which I amended and adapted to incorporate the more conventional sort of override suspension, which gives you more choices when it comes to fitting shocks. It also gives you more choices when you're looking to carry weight, so it's a good option. The upholstery in it was done to match the upholstery on the Indian. You'll see the cross stitch, and it's lined out with a timber patterned vinyl. When you build a sidecar and put it together, you're customizing, and you can put together really nice looking ones or really bad looking ones. The best thing to do, I think, is to start on Pinterest or an app like that, where you can just download heaps of photos of what people have done and get an idea of what you like, and then look at those photos again and then try and work out why the design of that bike or that element of the bike you're looking at works, and then incorporate it into your build. When you look at this bike here, the Indian Roadmaster, you'll see that the lines of the panniers are mirrored by the rear of the sidecar, and that the nose of the sidecar actually sits below the tank of the Indian Roadmaster. Now, that's a deliberate thing, and the reason I did that was I started looking at Brough Superior motorcycles, which are absolutely beautiful, and they had a sidecar version which is probably the pinnacle of all sidecars ever built. And when I looked at it, it sort of followed those lines. There's a very definite set of lines that you need to follow. You don't want the lower line, if you like, or the lower line of the sidecar to be higher than the wheels on or the axles on the bike. You don't want the top of the sidecar to go higher than the petrol tank, and that gives you a nice little clear line. Then if you draw another horizontal line from the front of the bike down to the rear wheels, you end up with an idea of where a sidecar will fit on your bike. And once you've got that in mind, you start to realise what shape sidecar you're looking for. So if you have a look here, it all seems to fit together. One of the great compliments I received recently was at the Indian Southern Gathering, where the Indian corporate blokes were there. They actually saw the bike and came over and spoke to me and said that it looked like a factory-made outfit. Now, they knew that Indian didn't make factory-made outfits, but the fact that they felt that we'd mirrored the bike and married the two together so well really was a bit of a pat on the back. Something, you know, I got on a little bike the other day, a little two-wheel bike. Anyway, I was just riding around in the yard and whatever, and I turned the corner pretty sharp. I nearly fell over because I forgot to put my feet on the ground. I've been riding these things for a bit too long now. Little wheels or big wheels? With your little wheels, they don't ride through bumps as good as a big wheel. A big wheel, like a wagon wheel, just sort of lopes through it and you get less movement. That's true. But if you're looking at the lines of a bike, the little wheels, in my opinion, my personal taste, sit lower than the top of the tub. So they don't take away from that top line that you're trying to match between the tub and the motorcycle. So I prefer the little wheels, and both my bikes have got that. And both my bikes, I applied that same logic that I learned from the Brough Superior of the top line, the bottom line and the diagonal line to work out what sort of sidecar would suit. And both of the sidecars I think look pretty good. They get a lot of compliments. There are better sidecars out there for sure. There are some stunners. A custom made tub built by a bloke that used to build them for dustings in the 1950s. He was a metal worker. This is an all metal tub, hand built. It's not exactly like a dustings, but it's very close. And if you have a look, a key feature, if you look on this side, you'll see that the line's straight, whereas if you come over on this side, it's more rounded, more curved, and that's part of what makes this outfit go together so well, the fact that it curves. The Indian Roadmaster is a bit of a torque monster, very, very torquey, strong motor. Watch this, no throttle, first gear, sidecar, and away we go. Does it easy. When you build a sidecar, you're making a long-term commitment to the bike. If you own a motorbike, you ride it around, you get sick of it, you get another one. But when you put a sidecar on it, you're much more likely to do a lot more kilometres on it, and you're also a lot more likely to keep it long-term. And that's exactly what's happening with my Indian Roadmaster. They are a very, very good bike to start with. There's no issues with the Indian Roadmaster that I'm aware of at all. This one's done 85,000 kilometres and it hasn't missed a beat. Nothing but regular maintenance. I think it's a 300,000 kilometre bike. But I'm committed to this bike now. When the time comes, if I need to, I'll have that motor rebuilt or I'll put a new one in it. When you get a bike of that calibre, like the Indian Roadmaster, they don't change too much. Like the extra add-ons that you get from year to year really don't alter the riding experience that much. So they can be a bike for life, and I think they are. The Indian Roadmaster is, and I'm very pleased with this one. In Victoria, our rules say that we don't need an engineer's certificate if the sidecar is a bolt-on and bolt-off unit attached to the frame without any frame modifications or welding. So that's how this bike has been done. It's been done by Phil Duffy of Creswick, the connections of the bike, and you'll see just how good a quality he does do. If you have a look here, right there, Phil's cut a hole in that side panel and there is not a millimetre to spare either side of it. It's just spot on. And if you look at the front mount, you'll see how he achieves that clamped on effect rather than the welded effect. This front bracket just here, right there, those 3 Allen keys, that's actually clamped onto the motorcycle frame, and that's basically how he's done it all the way around. The beauty of how he attaches them is they're also designed to come off very easily, one bolt on each point. So if you see here, if I undo that bolt, and then there's one on the front, and then there's the same on the 2 bottom ones, so 4 bolts, the 4 points come off and the bike's free if it needs to be worked on or anything. So that's a good thing. Future builds, I don't know, but I keep looking at some of the hand-built canoes and boats, timber boats, and I see how they put them together, and also custom-bodied wood-framed cars. And I think there's a lot of parallels between the shapes in sidecars and boats, canoes or little runabouts, that sort of thing. But the timber elements in those vehicles I think would also go well as a feature. For example, a timber deck across the front here would be very similar to what they did on those old Bruffs, and it looked sensational. That combination of black, timber and chrome seems to work well together, and then all of a sudden you start adding it all together and you start to get these rich tones that sort of say, well, you're getting a bit of a vibe, a bit of a armchair feel to it. So in the future I might try and put together a sidecar based on, well, a timber body based on some of those canoe designs.